Hey guys, welcome back. So in the last session, we have covered this three topics in Introduction for Software Testing chapter. That is tasks of testing, participants of testing, and vModel. Okay, so if you want to watch the earlier video, please click on the link suggested. Okay, now we'll study in detail what verification is in this video. So verification is nothing but it's the method to identify the issues as early as possible, so which we have seen in our vModel. Okay, so like here on the left hand side of the vModel, okay, left arm of the vModel, what we do is called as verification. So on the left arm, actually we are preparing all the documents. So on that documents, what we are going to do is called as verification. So the tagline for verification is basically are we building the product right? Okay, now what does this means? Okay, I'll explain you how exactly the verification process happens so that you can understand that this tagline of are we building the product right. Okay, so before building the product itself, we are trying to make sure that the product is built right or not. Okay, so the process, I'll just remove this. I'll explain this in the coming sessions. These are the types of verification: walkthrough, review, and inspection. Let me just. Oh my. We will see the purpose first. So purpose of verification. Now the software application need to conform to some predefined requirements. Okay, so the requirements, so each of the phases have different set of requirements, right? So requirement analysis phase, we get the SRS from the customers. Analysis and design phase, there is a document created, so that is the requirement of that particular phase. So software application has to conform to certain predefined set of requirements. Now as the software development goes through different phases, it is necessary to ensure that delivery of each phase is as per the specifications. Okay, so what does delivery mean? So the deliverables of each and every phases, so that has to be according to some certain required specification. Now to check whether it is according to the required specification or not, we have to do what is called as verification. So verification makes sure that the software application is getting developed in a correct way with respect to the requirements, and that is what is meant by are we building the product right, or are we doing the job right. Okay, now I hope the purpose of verification is clear. Now we'll see how exactly verification is performed. So step by step, I'm going to explain you how exactly verification is performed. Okay. Right. So the first step is, now each and every document that is created in each and every phase, it has to go through the verification process. Okay, now it is a document, right? So firstly we have to read the document. Okay, read the entire document. Now let's say we as a tester, we are going to perform verification on the requirement specification document. So SRS document, that is what we are going to verify. So what we do is that whenever we get the SRS document, okay, as a tester, we try to just read the document. Okay, now by reading mean basically we are trying to understand the requirement. Okay, now once we understand the requirement, okay, then we are able to identify the issues in that particular document. Okay, why? Because once you understand anything, it's pretty easy to identify whether the document or that particular concept it's foolproof, or it is having some issues or defects. So it's important that you read the document a number of times so that you can understand the requirements thoroughly. Okay, now once you read the document, automatically you'll understand the document, once you understand the document, the issues, you don't have to look for issues, it will come up. Okay, so the issues would come up. Okay, what we have to do is that we have to document the issues and we have to track them. Okay, then once we document the issues, we have to send that particular document, okay, to the creator of the document. Okay, now in our case, if we are verifying a requirement document, we will send it to the designer of the document. Okay, now in this case, the it is called as a designer. Okay, if someone is preparing the test cases, so generally tester prepares test cases. If you are verifying a test case document, you will send it back to the tester. Okay, so whoever is the author of that document, you will send whatever your issues are to the author, so that he is the person who is actually going to provide you with the solutions. Okay, so creator of a review should take necessary action for closure. So once you send that to the author of the document, okay, he will give you certain explanations. So let's say if you are there is some understanding gap, he will explain it to you, or if it is an issue, he will correct those things. Okay, so whatever it is, now we are here the creator of a verifying document. Okay, so we have to take necessary action to close the issues. Okay, now how we are going to take that? Let's say the designer has updated a SRS document and he has sent us a version of it. Okay, so he has updated it, we are just going to change the status to closed. Okay, so this is the entire process. Okay, let me just write it down here. So we are going to read the document, then we are going to try and we are going to try and identify the issues. Okay, we are going to document those issues. It's no point just identifying the issues or verbally communicating it with the author of the document. We have to document those issues as well. Okay, send it to the author. Okay, right, track those issues till closure. So this is the entire process of verification. Each and every document created has to go through this verification process. Okay, now verification is obviously manual except for code review, where some code review tools might be used. Verification is called as static testing. Okay, and validation is called as dynamic testing. Okay, now why static testing? Because the application is not executed, we are not actually using the application, we are just going through the documents. Okay, so it is called as static testings. Okay, now there are a few advantages of verification. Now the first advantage is basically verification not only helps us in identifying the issues, but it also helps us to get the exact location of the issue. Okay, now we are going to perform a small activity wherein I am going to show you a small case study of an e-commerce site. There I can explain you this statement properly. Okay, now the next advantage is that filter is applied at every stage during software development life cycle to purify the application as it progresses. So you get the requirement, you do verification, whatever issues you are identify in the requirement document, you clear it there in there itself. Similarly in design phases, similarly in module design phases, and go on. Okay, so what you are doing is you are applying the filter at each and every level. Okay, now defects are getting discovered even before the code is developed or tested. Okay, so even before the application itself is developed or coded, the issues are cleared. Okay, so that's a major advantage of verification. Okay, so these are the advantages of verification. Now let us just move to the activity. Okay, so basically the case study that I want you to go through it, right? So this is an SRS. So this is a dummy SRS I have created. Okay, so we'll try to just now I'm not going to read the entire SRS. I whenever there is a live session, I actually give this to the students to do the verification process and take the issues from them. Okay, but here in this case it's not feasible, so I'll just read out a couple of requirements and I'll try to explain you what are the issues in them. Okay, and then we'll obviously document those issues. So this is the small SRS of a e-commerce site. Okay, now the first requirement is view catalog. Okay, now 1.1, so this one is basically requirement ID. 1.1 is again the requirement ID itself, but it is a submodule type of thing. Okay, so the first one is user should be able to view all items present in the catalog. So that's the first requirement. I'm just reading the SRS as of now. 1.2 states that detailed information of the item can be obtained by clicking on thumbnail of the image or item name from the list. So try to imagine there is a e-commerce site. Okay, it's not yet developed. For in our case it's not yet developed, we're just trying to imagine something. Okay, now that is difficult, isn't it? Yes. So basically in actual SRS you will get the screenshots as well. Those are called as wireframes. I have explained wireframes in one of the earlier videos, so do check out those videos. So yes, so here we are trying to imagine how it would look. Okay, so there is one catalog wherein maybe 3 or 6 products would be shown. Okay, if you click on that particular thumbnail or the image, the descriptions of the product may appear. Okay, so that's the second requirement. Okay, the third requirement is 1.3, that is frequently purchased items or thumbnails should be displayed on the home page. Okay, so let us just read this. Now if you read it a number of times, okay, you'll try to understand that are there any issues in this requirement itself. Okay, so obviously now see the first statement itself, user should be able to view all items present in the catalog. Now which user? Shouldn't it be registered user or any visitor should be able to view the catalog? That should be maintained, that should be mentioned clearly, isn't it? So that is not given here. Okay, now second point, detailed information of the item can be obtained. Now but what detailed information? The size of the product, the pricing of the product, there are a number of details, right? So that has to be mentioned here, isn't it? Which is not given here. Again, that is an issue, right? So if you read this entire SRS, you will find number of issues. So similarly, there are going to be number of issues whenever you get an SRS, whichever designer it might have been created. But nobody is perfect. There has to be some issues. We need to rectify those issues, right? So this is what the verification process is. Okay. Now I'll tell you how to actually note down those issues. So here is the format of how you are going to document it. It might slightly change depending upon the organization you might be working in. Now this sheet is actually called as query tracking sheet. Okay. Now I'll just tell you how to fill up this sheet. Okay. Now this is obviously serial number. Now this is requirement ID. Now to be specific, you need to mention whatever requirement ID. So this is your requirement ID. If there might be some wordings or some screenshots written here, okay, and if there might be some issues, then you can write down one dot or simply one. Okay, now we have identified issue in 1.1. okay, we have also identified issue in 1.2. so whatever issues we have identified, we'll just, so 1.2, or 1.1. Okay, now requirement here, so basically view catalog, that's the module that you are working in. So you can write down a module name or a submodule name, depends upon what it is actually. Okay, then now again this wordings might change depending upon where you're working. It's a typical format, but so what you need to write down is in the issue column is that firstly you need to mention what exactly mentioned in the SRS. Now the reason obviously being is that the designers are very busy people. Okay, so it might happen that you are a tester, so like you, there might be a couple of people more in your team. Now they are also doing the verification activity as soon as they are getting the document or the requirement specification in this case. Okay, so they might also be creating this query tracking sheet, they might also send it to the designers. Now he's a very busy person, so you might just go through your mail, he'll check the list. If you have written only the issue part, okay, that which user should be able to view the item, whether it is the registered user or visitors may also be allowed. Okay, now he might not recollect that which document you are talking about or what is exactly mentioned in the SRS. Okay, something might happen, he may just postpone to reply to you. So it's better that we provide all the information so that we can get the possible solution. Now possible solution is given by the author of this document, the person who has created this document, not a tester, not a developer, not a test lead, but only the author of that document. Okay, so you need to send this report, this query tracking sheet, to the author of that document. So here in this case we need to mention what is in the SRS, so you can just simply copy paste it from the document itself. Okay, make sure it's in double quotes. You can obviously format it depending upon your needs. Okay, right, so it is mentioned in the SRS that user should be able to view all items present in the catalog, but the issue is, you write it down, whatever is the issue, whether but the issue is whether only registered user should be able to view it, or visitors are also allowed. Okay, so this is what I have mentioned. This is what I feel. Now this is a query tracking sheet. Okay, so even if you have not understood anything, you can mention it in this document because it's a query that you are asking. Okay, now sometimes it does happen that there is an understanding gap, that you are not able to understand it. So if there is a solution to it, he might provide you the solution. Now let's assume that I am the author of that document and you have sent this query tracking sheet to me. So if I have a solution to it, that okay, only registered user should be view, registered user should view this. Okay, so now I have given the solution. Okay, now this is only for tracking purpose. Ideally this solution should be updated in the SRS, so you should get the SRS. Okay, until you get the updated version of SRS, the issue status would be still open itself. Okay, once you get the updated document, once you verify that it is clearly updated, then you can just go and close this issue. Okay, now there is a comment column here, obviously, because if it is not an issue, if there is an understanding gap, he might provide some comments, or if you want to provide any suggestions, you can give the suggestions in this comment column. There may be few other columns as well, maybe reported by, reported on, updated, and so on and so forth, depending upon whatever is required, but these are the basic which would be common in all those documents. Okay, now let's say there is one more issue in 1.2. okay, detailed information of the item can be obtained. So I'll just click copy it here. Again, this is the same thing, view catalog functionality, right? Okay, yeah, we have to do a lot of copy paste. Mention in the SRS, right? And whatever your issue is, but the issue is so and so, right? Okay, you keep the status as open, right? So this is how you actually perform verification. So I have explained you in detail the process, or how actually it happens in the industry. There might be a few changes here and there depending upon the organization and whatever things they follow, but this is the process that generally gets followed, wherein you just read the document first, you try to understand the document. Once you understand the document, automatically the issues would come up to you. You document those issues in this query tracking sheet, okay, and send it to the author. The author will check it, review it, he will update the possible solution, okay, and then you track those issues till it is closed. Okay, I hope this verification you have understood how exactly it is performed. So in the next session we'll continue with the different types of verification, namely walkthrough, review and inspection. Okay, I hope you have liked this video. If you have liked this video, please like, share and comment. Okay, if you have not subscribed the channel yet, please subscribe it. Don't forget to click on the bell icon to get the notification of the next video. Good luck. Thank you.